Undoubtedly, the Hindu is the most read newspaper by those who are preparing for competitive exam. But is the Hindu best newspaper to read? And my question is specifically if you are preparing for competitive exam of banking, regulatory bodies, RBI, SEBI, NABARD. This is the front page of the Hindu, 24th June. The headline is Shinde says Rebel Sena group has support of National Party. And on the same date, I am comparing with Business Standard. Core movement may come under illegal. And if you see the Economics Times, Department of Expenditure red flag extending free food scheme. Did you notice the difference here? Which news did you find the most relevant for your exam? What kind of questions you can expect? Mr. Shinde is now Chief Minister. That you will definitely come to know even if you don't read any newspaper. Enough material will come on WhatsApp and social media. The coverage of what Sharad Pawar says, how many MLAs were staying in the hotel, how many were with the Shiv Sena, versus the coverage regarding Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, the details related to food subsidies, and the discussion about fiscal deficit. 6.4% of GDP government budgeted for this, and Fitch rating says 6.8. Here also fiscal deficit is discussed. Fertilizer subsidy is discussed. At least you will remember there is this subsidy on the fertilizer, and also the cut in the fuel duty is going to cost government about a lakh crore. Now tell me which can be a question in the exam. The government has extended PMGKY. We just saw this news for a period of how many months, or in which hotel in Guwahati the rebel MLAs of Shiv Sena stayed. If you are watching especially TV, you must be knowing this for sure, but where is your focus? PMGKY is extended for 6 months, and this is not in Hindu. Hindu gives priority to political news. Another question, by what percentage the food subsidy budget for 23 was lower than the budget allocated for 2022? So if you calculate both here, the answer will be 26.62. If you are a fan of Hindu, read the business line which is by the same publication, and this is of 21st June. Here the headline is first set of the Agniveers will join service in June 23. In case of ET, front page news is banks holding on to the subsidy share payment companies. Input cost down, but no end to FMCG price pain. And then you can see all the small news on the front page when you are comparing the Hindu with the Economics Times. Question like Finance Minister allocated how much to hasten the digital payment industry. Where are you going to find the answer? See on the top, 1,500 crore grant for digital payment expense. The Hindu covers political news, local news in too much detail. What Mr. Thackeray is doing, earthquake in Afghanistan, bulldozers in UP, Prime Minister talk about digital economy, SDM suspended, AAP BJP face off, BRICS supports dialogue between Russia and Ukraine. Major focus of the news here is in the politics related to it. More important for understanding of the international relations, which is an important discussion when you are writing an UPSC exam. But if you read this, the same news in financial newspaper, in business newspaper, you will find there is more data related coverage, which is important for your banking exam, especially for regulatory body exam like RBI, NABARD, IRDA. The importance of BRICS. BRICS bring together the 5 of the largest developing countries of the world, representing 41% of the global population, 24% of the global GDP, and 16% of the global trade. Set up long-term export industry, PM tells industry. So here the discussion is about India's goods and service export stood at 670 billion. Discussion about MSMEs and Niryat, national import export yearly analysis of the trade portal. So these are the favorite exam questions in case of banking and regulatory body exam. Not official suspended for a scam, or some local news related to elections, local industries, politics in university, and many more here, which you'll find in plenty in newspaper like Hindu. The discussion about fiscal deficit here is not in depth, which I showed you earlier. In business paper is very much in detail. See the business paper again. Central bank talking about inflation. Inflation showing signs of peaking, RBI action may moderate. Michael Patra, Deputy Governor, RBI. 6-member MPC Monetary Policy Committee. This question has been asked in RBI exam several times. Rupee depreciation lowest among the world. Though we are realizing rupee is depreciating, but still if you compare with the other countries, then you realize that it's not that much. Also telling you that RBI's inflation targeting band is 4% plus minus 2. Local banks may open account with Russian counterparts and vice versa. Banks may see leeway to amortize MTM. So you understand what is MTM losses, mark to market losses. So you read these kind of news and then you will understand how it works. What is this question has been discussed many a time. What is held to maturity? What is available for sale? Another category is held for trading, HFT, for classifying the investment by the bank. Keep reading in the newspaper and you update here. Not only these will be helpful in your objective questions, but also in the descriptive questions when you are writing exams like RBI Grade B, showing you some questions of RBI Grade B this year. Another one, we have a separate video on this. You can go to the channel. I am taking the screenshot from there about the financial stability report of RBI, economic reforms during the COVID, urbanization is spreading, short note on the current monetary policy framework. So where do you see these kind of questions can be addressed better? In newspaper The Hindu or in a financial newspaper, in a business newspaper? I just discussed about the monetary policy thing when I was showing the news about Dr. Michael Patra. Editorial sections important for answer writing. Just have a look here. The Hindu. Again, the focus is more on the political news, social justice, the debate of left and right now in Latin America, or discussion of the government scheme like Narega. These are important discussions for the society, for the news around us. But when you are targeting top financial institutions, your aim is understanding the finance, the economics at the top. Economics Times editorial I am showing you, forming a oil shift from goods to wealth. So oil is the most traded commodity globally. About the ASEAN, because this is related to the trade, another important topic when it comes to the economy. Salary of the CEOs is important point to understand when you are talking about the management. And then discussing about IMF World Economic Forum data about 5 trillion economy by 25 for India, how we can achieve this growth, what are the challenges, understanding of the TDS, how it is important and how excessive tax can cause some problems, about the debt management of the government. Who does the debt management of the government? Actually, facilitation is done by RBI, the central bank of the country. But this article is telling about the problems the excessive debt can cause, 90% of the GDP. Within standard, similarly, if you see, it is about who doesn't want growth. RBI, however, cannot use the growth argument to justify the inflation, and this is written by Mr. Ajay Tyagi, former chairman of the SEBI. So similarly, on the crude oil diplomacy, as I said, very important commodity. About the Sri Lankan economy, we know today I was reading they have only 1 day fuel remaining with them. What has happened so bad in Sri Lanka? I traveled to Sri Lanka when I was in RBI. In fact, I found Sri Lanka much more developed than us. The average income, the lifestyle there was much better. They messed up their economy, of course, for political reasons, but this will be interesting article to understand. When you are targeting for banking exam, you don't need a paper, a newspaper which is based on polity, because polity is not a paper in your banking exam which is there in UPSC. Therefore, the Hindu is suitable for UPSC preparation. Here, points to consider while selecting a newspaper is the comprehensiveness regarding the exam you are targeting, the standard of the English, the language, the coverage of the news item which can be relevant for your questions in the exam. News should make sense, save your time to the selected topic. The attention shall be where your exam is focused. Remember this very well. There are so many news in the world, so many things happening every moment. You are not supposed to know everything. It is not possible also. Your aim is to clear the exam. I am not saying Hindu newspaper is not good, but this is not relevant for your studies right now. Focus on selected reading. Therefore, the section to read are front page. It is reserved for the most important news, but many newspapers nowadays are giving sensational news in the front page. Understand that editorial is very important for widening your knowledge base, for opening up your mind about the points and the counterpoint, improving your language skill, which are useful in your interviews, which are useful in your descriptive writing. Whatever happens in all around us is discussed in the editorial page. National and international news, these are important from an examination point of view, but take notice of the important one, business and economy. This section is critical for exams like banking and regulatory body exam. you expect good number of questions from it in your GA paper. Sports, some very important one you have to cover from the newspaper questions. You shall avoid reading is regional news. Nobody is going to ask you what is happening in your district, in your commissionaries. In interview time, maybe something may be in discussion, but forget about it in the exam. Entertainment. Many of us first go to the Bollywood news. Avoid that. Then there are news related to bail, murder, crime, all waste. 50% faster by reading Wikipedia. We have daily Wikipedia, weekly Wikipedia, monthly Wikipedia. We categorize the news topic wise so that depending on your requirement, you can focus on what you are studying. और Wikipedia हिंदी में भी है. What you have to do, you have to go to the website, download this Wikipedia. Now I leave it to you. What choice you make, ultimately your life, your career. For 50% faster preparation, exam is there. Good luck.